Are you ready to start this off, Jon?
Let's boogie.
All right. Well, hey, Jon, we're taking this time to share God stories within our community and to hear from different people at our site and how they're doing over quarantine and some of the things that God has been teaching them. So I'm so glad that you are here with us. Woohoo!
I'm glad to be here
Yeah,
too.
Jon is a Zoom champion now. He's mastered this technology and has offered up his services post-quarantine to train anybody in Zoom.
Oh, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
So, Jon, tell us a little bit. Like, what has your experience been the past 2 months? What are some of the things that God's been teaching you?
Well, and one thing that's growing more and more, how much He's in my life,
Mm.
how many good things He's doing for me, and every day, everything. And again, it seems to center around the meeting house, how much I'm loved and how much I'm cared. And He is, I'm saying something that I guess most people would know, how much He's a part of my life. It's
Mm.
taken me quite a while though, and I guess my love in God is growing more. I'm not saying when I was younger or when I was growing up, I didn't love God, but He was more or less out there.
Mm-hmm.
When I think back to out there, I can't believe the way I was. Like I was from sort of like people that don't know Jesus. And if something good happened, of course, if something bad happened, I would think it was Him. But it's been in the last, my goodness, in the last, I'd say 6 or 7 years, how I finally learned to grow.
Mm.
That everything that happens, well, one of my favorite passages, and I think I've said it many, many times, is all things work out for the who love the Lord and are called according to His uh, purpose. That
Amen.
has been so
Romans
important to me.
8:28.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Romans 8:28. You're right. I've learned that because I think even before that, or before I was more aware of that, there were certain things that happened, and right away I would think that it's the end, it's no good, or something like that. But that's before I began to realize. And another thing that's coming more into my mind is no matter what happens, it's hard for me, but I'm beginning to realize when things go wrong, there's a reason why it should go wrong. Like it's not, I think before I thought it was awful, but there's a reason. And again, we go back to that one, Romans 8, verse 28, that all things work out for the good that love that they're caught upon. I feel much closer to God. I feel God is close to me. And some mornings I wake up and I feel, some mornings I feel better than others. And that's nothing new. I'm sure everybody else feels
That's
the
right.
same
Yeah.
way.
Mm-hmm.
But but it's amazing. And the amazing thing about it is I even even if He doesn't talk to me, whatever I'm thinking, and this is how I love Jesus. I felt this even before I got saved, even when I didn't believe in Him, that whenever anything would go wrong, no matter how bad it was, and even right now, I feel on my right shoulder, and it's like they say in the Bible, God will never leave you nor forsake you, and that's so very, very true.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's some days I feel really, really down. I'm worried or I'm angry or something like that. And I feel a gentle touch on my right shoulder. And to me, that is the Holy Spirit or God. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
so very grateful. And I would say that I've gone through a lot, but if I look over the last, oh my goodness, I'm gonna say even when I was going to my Messianic synagogue, things would happen, and I wasn't very happy most of the time. It just wasn't the right place for me. And then, um, but again, and I don't want to belabor the point but it's true to or not. I had to. God wanted me to go through whatever I went through. And to me at the time, I didn't realize that it was for my own good.
Mm.
And what I think one thing leads to another, because had I not gone through, and I'm not going to go into a long thing about at my other synagogue, but had I not gone through that, I wouldn't realize how much uh, what he had in store for me, and that's the meeting house.
Mhm.
And if you get me talking on the meeting house, that's all I want to talk about because I've got nothing. I've got nothing. No, but I feel very, very strongly about this. And I've said it to you, Melissa, many, many times. One of the first things is I can't believe, or I do now, but it's hard, how loved I am. And that's that. It doesn't matter who it is there.
Mhm.
And one of the things I was saying, I think Bernie was over at my house last Sunday. We had a real wonderful chat, and I'm so blessed. I mean it sincerely that I've got the Zoom from the church. I've got the YouTube from. I've got people that call and ask how I am, but I don't think um, I've never been in such a not situation of feeling in my life how loved I am. And I think right from the start, Melissa, that's one of the first things I said to you. And that's a big thing for me in all my life, in everything. And I'm not really going to make any exceptions how much I feel loved here. It's just words can't describe it. And you, Melissa, have been absolutely wonderful. And every time I go to say something to you, you're very, very modest and humble. But it's so very, very true. It's just incredible. Now I'll keep quiet. Is there anything else
I was
you
just
want?
gonna say, I was like, this is the whole reason that I thought we could record this. So no,
That's
this has
wonderful.
been really good, John. I think that that passage is such an important one for this season. That even though we're going through some really tough stuff and we have some highs and some lows, that I think as we submit all of this to God, yeah, he is faithful to bring out the good in our lives and to help us learn and grow and really come closer to him. So that's awesome, my friends.
And another thing I want to say that's absolutely awesome. I know many times I've been I break down and cry because things are really bothering me, and I'm really blessed by you. I know it comes from Jesus, but Jesus is so much. He radiates out of you. He really, really does. And you pray for me. I feel such a big relief. I want to say, God bless you and thank you so much because there's some days, my goodness, I'm overwhelmed and I know, and I'm not, like, I just think it's wonderful. I don't take it for
Yeah,
granted or anything like that.
I'm so glad
So,
to hear that, John.
yes.
The spirit is pretty amazing, eh? Any like final words you want to share as an encouragement for our community as they're navigating this?
Well, I would say hang in there and, of course, trusting God and don't, I know it's hard, but have faith and trust and everything will work out. He's
Mm-hmm.
there. And
Mm-hmm.
the other thing I've got to say in summing up, he'll never leave you nor forsake you. And that's another part of my journey that's really come to the front. And it's just incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Linda gave me a book to read on devotions. And every day I read it and I think of Linda, and it's very, very relevant to what each day brings.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say have faith and everything will work out. And it may not be in our time, but it's in God's time. And of course, when you say that, God's time is always correct, never wrong. So
Mm-hmm. Amen.
blessings,
Preach, John.
blessings to everybody.